Ish, great to have you. I've been looking forward to this, and
Good
obviously,
to have you.
any viewer won't know, but we kind of know each other at this point. So, for all the people who don't know, how is it that we know each other?
I met you through a DM. I vaguely remember a message. Actually, I'll go back a little bit before you sent me the DM. I was struggling a little bit on things to do, how to keep pushing what I'm doing. And I remember thinking to myself, I almost praying for someone to kind of like help me out a little bit, right? And like it was almost like next week or the same week where I get a DM from you like, hey, are you uh or do you know anyone that's looking to start up a business or something along those lines? And I was like, oh, me. I'm not even sure how you found me. But that's how I met you, and then I booked the call, and then I remember I double booked myself that day, and I had to ask you to reschedule that, and that's how we met.
That was how we met, yeah, and the rest
Hmm.
is history, right?
Pretty much.
So yeah, somehow I managed to convince you to be part of the program, but we'll get back into that. What did you work on before we met and before we did any work together?
What did I work on? The business or like myself, like job
Yeah, no,
wise?
so what was the work that you were doing?
Oh, um, well, I knew that I had to make some kind of posts to get clientele, and I knew that I had to do it for free for a while because I was still figuring things out, right? And I had made a post prior to you sending me a DM about free online coaching for people, right? So I get quick kick started and get the hang of it a little bit faster. And I think I did 5 people for free, and I coached them for a month just so I could understand my systems a little bit better, and they could get results, and so I could have testimonials, right? So the before and afters, and I did that for a month, and then I think I did it again while we were working together, like right before, right during the same time. So yeah, that's what I was doing. I was just gathering testimonials. I had seen videos that were like, get testimonials, and you know, keep putting it out there. And that's what I was working on. Uh, I nothing else. Literally just asking people if they wanted a free service.
Exactly. Exactly. And so I would think that as someone who enjoys the gym and enjoys working out, to then becoming a fitness coach and helping other people through the same journey, there must be some kind of enjoyment, passion that kind of leads one thing to the next, besides just, liking it yourself. And where does your passion for the gym come from?
Ah, man, that's a long story. But I'll make it. I'll make it a little shorter. When I was a kid, I was very obese. I was, I think, 12 years old, and I looked myself in the mirror. And my dad, uh, like, has always been into the gym, and like, I knew about the gym at that point already. But I looked at myself in the mirror uh, right before I was gonna shower, and I saw my belly. It was like too big, and I was going through puberty at that point, right? And I was like, I don't like this. I need to do something about it. I asked my dad what to do about it, and he gave me like the worst bodybuilder diet in the world. And I was like, it doesn't matter, right? I was willing to put in the work, and it didn't matter if I didn't like it. And so that's what kind of kickstarted my fitness journey. And I went through ups and downs. I learned things, whatever, and then eventually people started asking me all the time, like, "What do you do?" And I didn't really like have a system or anything. I was just, this is what I do, bro, and that's it. So I started training people for free, right? They'd come to the gym with me to help them out. I show them what I know, and little did I know, like that was the beginning of where I was headed. My passion, right? I turned into a passion of mine, and later on, the YMCA that I was working at, the director, I had been going to that gym for like 4 years at that point. The director asked me if I wanted to be a trainer there, and he, it was like directly after I had decided to drop out of college. So it was kind of like, here, do this now, you know. And I was like, wow, I like to do this, and I'm gonna get paid to do this. I'm gonna get my certification paid, and I'm gonna get paid to study. It is hard to say no. And from there on, because of that director, I was able to kickstart the professional personal trainer journey sooner than I would have probably thought about. And ever since then, I've never stopped. I always have helped somebody, whether they're here with me or they're on the other side of the world. The systems and the coaching that I give has helped tons of people. And I never knew when I first started that I could ever do this online, right? And my first client that I ever did online, he got amazing results. He probably got better results than my in-person clients, which was crazy to me because I was like, wow, I don't have to actually like be there, right? And he's getting better results. I was astonished, and I knew there was something there, but at that point, I think it was like after 2020, right, the pandemic, and I I was trying to figure it out. There wasn't too much information on it, but you just had to look a little deeper, maybe, and I kind of gave up on it a little bit, and I went over, did other stuff. I still train people on, in person, and just recently, again, I was like, you know what? I think I'm gonna give this another try because I started seeing more videos on it, and it seemed more accessible to me, and seemed more in reach, right? For some reason, the internet seemed like a mystery to me just a couple years ago. Maybe it wasn't my time then. So
No,
that's
no,
how I'm
I
here.
get that. Yeah, yeah. I mean, at least one reason, right?
Hmm.
Um, and throughout that journey, what would you say has been some of the catalysts that have inspired you to care so much for your clients? You say one of them even got better results than some of the in-person ones. Like it's clear that you want to see them succeed.
Yes, the catalyst. I mean, just what they say is amazing to me. What they say, how they feel, when they tell me that they sleep better, when they tell me that they feel better, when they tell me that what they thought they couldn't do and they're doing it now, is it's inspiring to me to keep doing what I'm doing, and I love to hear those things from all of my clients. And even if they're not a client of mine, and I was able to give them a piece of advice that helped them push past whatever they were at, I I, I love to hear that, and like it doesn't get old for me. It just it's just always good. I love to hear it. I love helping people feel better, achieving their goals, breaking down the goals down into smaller chunks that are easily doable for them, right? I think that's a lot of what I do with them, that they see this giant goal and they don't know how to break it down. And we break it down and then they do it. And then they're like, dang, like I did it. And then thanks for breaking it down.
Yeah. No, I mean that makes a lot of sense, and I'm not going to say obviously because it might not be obvious to some of the people watching, but a lot of what you mention from your own experiences, like almost one to one, translate to the experiences that I have. Right? It's
Hmm.
seeing people have those aha moments. It's like seeing the mental breakthroughs. It's I've been
Yeah.
doing such and such for a period of time, and nothing's been paying off until now. And then you have that
Hmm.
small change, and like it's a completely different world for some of those moments.
Yeah. It almost
When
it feels like you can touch it. You're like,
yes, 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 it
it's
becomes so
not,
tangible.
yeah, it's not just within reach. You actually felt it.
Mm. Yeah, that's a good way to put it. Something that was imaginary, somehow becomes real
Hmm.
for a moment, right?
Yeah, seeing the
That's
scale maybe go down, seeing the
yeah.
pants fit different, your dress, your shirt, your dress shirts, going up the stairs and not feeling out of breath, being
Mm,
able to pick something heavy that you couldn't pick up before, being able just to walk longer. It's like, wow, it's real. And that's an amazing moment. I felt it, you know? So, and I want to make other people feel the same.
yeah. No, and it's so cool that you decided not only to kind of talk the talk, obviously you have had the experiences in the past, but also kind of redo the walk, right? Gaining the weight and then losing it again, just to show how possible it is and to set the example by leading with action. I
Hmm.
think that's very admirable.
Yeah, I think it. I try to be the person that I was looking for when I needed help. That's really what I try to do every day. Like, what
Mm,
did I need when I didn't know what to do here? Uh, because I think a lot of us find ourselves in the same situations at different points in time. You care less at one point, you care more at another point for whatever the reason might be.
yeah, no, I
Mhm.
think you're right. And so obviously you've been a personal trainer for a long time by now, and
About 8 years now.
which that is some time, right?
Yeah,
And throughout that journey, you've then transitioned into doing both hybrid, in person and online, and now you basically are just doing online.
yeah.
What initially, from back when I reached out to you, made you believe in my ability to help you?
Um, I mean, we got on the call, and the way that you were giving me the questions, okay, like I'll trust this guy. Obviously I didn't know you, first time ever meeting you, and I had, like I said before, I had been asking for just somebody to give me some advice somewhere, right? Something maybe I didn't know. It's so helpful when you have somebody else that's anywhere further than you are, right? And like at that time, I didn't know like how much you had been working already on this, and like the more that we've been working together, like I realized like how long you've been working on this, and like that just furthered like the credibility for me, right? Uh, but like it's just so helpful to have somebody else with you to talk about what you're struggling with, and if they're a little bit like higher than you are, like that just you just climb up there, and it makes it more possible. I think that's uh that's something like the way you just spoke about it made me feel like you were somewhere higher than where I was. Maybe it was like you were just putting in more work. Maybe you had already made all of these this program for years. This was like I think your third round or something like that. And uh, yeah, that's kind of like what made me believe in it. I guess it just felt like you were someone that could help me.
Yeah. Well, I'm obviously very delighted that you chose to take that perception. And I would go as far as saying that it's paid out pretty well for you. The goal that we ended up setting for that call, I believe, was the $5,000, right? For
Yeah,
the end of the program, which is 3 months for anyone who's watching and doesn't know. And when we then got started, obviously from the starting point to the end point is a much more detailed series of steps. Can you kind of outline what would you say were some of the biggest steps along that path that you had to go through, or some of the phases that you went through in that process?
yeah. So like from the beginning of when we started working together, right?
Yeah.
Um, I remember when you had officially dropped the new course. Uh, I immediately went on. I didn't wait. I was actually looking at the previous one already, And then when like the new one dropped, I mean the quality changed a lot, at least to what I saw from like the little bit before to what it is now. Um, and I just started working. I was like, okay, this is what he said to do. I'll do this. And like I trusted the process. I did it. I was going through it. It felt like some parts I was more ahead than what the questions were asking, but I was like, it doesn't matter what I think. It doesn't matter. I just do the work and then just keep going, right? And I think just like doing the doing, even though you think that you might be ahead of that, doesn't matter what you think. Just do the doing. You'll figure it out. You keep figuring it out. Just go through it. There was like sending the DMs to like hundreds of people. Like that was tough, right? Posting my content was tough at the beginning. I didn't know what to post. Obviously, I knew that I had to post because it's a form of marketing, right? It's a form of being in people's eyes. It's a form of giving what I want to give is how I see it now, right? Before it was like, oh, I'm a little scared. Like, how do I even talk? What do I say? Things like that. And same thing goes for when I'm sending DMs to people, greeting myself, them greeting me, figuring out where they're at, if they even need my help, right? Um, Sorry, I don't know if I got veered off of the question.
No, no, not at all. I mean, you've just already kind of mentioned some of the big kind of steps in that path, right? It's starting out at the beginning, you got started on the free course by yourself, which, shameless plug, anybody can go check out in the description. But then kind of the first work that we started on was identifying, okay, who are the people that you're going to be serving?
Hmm.
And obviously this was a lot easier because of the work that you had already been doing. Like
Yeah.
we had a lot of context to what were we going to start out with. So we weren't working off of nothing, yeah. And do you want to mention specifically kind of what we did?
Well, what we did, if you're referring to maybe like the one-on-one calls, that would help out a
That could be
lot.
part of it, yeah. So the one-on-one calls, and what would you say were the process of kind of niching down and identifying who you could best serve? And
Mm.
did that teach you anything unexpected?
Um, I feel like it's been a journey figuring that part out, right? And right now, I feel closer than ever on knowing who to target specifically, right? Because there's so many niches you can get into. There's the, for a 50-year-old that has never dropped weight and is 300 pounds. There's the ladies going through menopause. There's the ladies that went through pregnancy. And like, I don't know anything about those things. So it doesn't make sense for me to want to serve that market, right? And so, like, I had to figure out who I was already serving. Uh, Maybe like look into myself too, like, you know, where I am at and where I can be the best help since I'm experiencing a lot of the same problems or a lot of the same clients are experiencing the same problems. I already know that a busy professional has 50 hours of work in a week. They get home, they don't want to cook, they want to eat something that's healthy for them, but the only thing that's available is McDonald's at that time because they finish work at 12 in the morning, 1 in the morning. And what do you do then, right? I don't want to cook. I'm tired, but I need to eat something. And so knowing those problems and knowing what I know for myself that I also don't want to cook when I'm tired, I figured out ways to still achieve my goals without having to sacrifice my nutrition, right? And I teach people how to do the same in being able to achieve their goals without having to worry about going out to eat because there's nothing at home and they don't want to cook. Like, this is how you prepare for it. This is what you want to have at home. And this only takes you maximum 10 minutes to
Mm,
have a meal ready. You'll be waiting longer to get your DoorDash delivered,
mm. Yeah,
right? So,
yeah.
one, you'll get more sleep. Two, you'll get better nutrition. Like, and that's it. You don't have to go anywhere. You don't have to pay anyone else. You already have your food there. It's meant for you. Done. Right? that's a big problem that a lot of my clients have. Like they want to achieve a goal, but they don't know how to. They haven't looked into it, right? But and that's how I kind of figured out that my niche is like those people for now, right? Because I've also figured out that it doesn't always have to be the same one. And I for some reason in my mind, I was like, oh, I'll have to stick one forever.
Yeah. Yeah, I think the way it is now is the way it will have to be later for eternity is such an easy trap to fall into. Because we set an expectation that if I start out this way, it has to continue like that. When
Yeah.
it doesn't, like it's more likely than not that you will fail if you start that way, right?
Hmm.
Because you won't be willing to change things. And if you're not willing to change things, chances are also you won't be willing to try. And if you're not trying, well, then you're getting nowhere.
Hmm. Yeah, I completely agree with that. I mean, it's kind of like with the in-person training. Like at first, when I was doing it, it was hard because I didn't understand things. I was doing it. I was getting better with talking to the client, explaining how to do a certain exercise, getting the right phrases, the right cues, just the words for that specific person, right? And then like over time, I figured out I can say the same thing 100 different ways, and one of those will click with everyone.
Yeah, yeah,
And
yeah.
then moving on to the online space, I was like afraid that I wouldn't be able to, you know, get any clients because I was like, I don't know how to do that, right? But it's that's how I was when I first started training people in person. How do I even get clients, right? Yeah, the gym helped me, but it, you have to change. When you change, you grow, and you're gonna
Totally.
fail. You know
Yeah.
that's part of the process. But like, I think I said this earlier on my Instagram. Uh, I said talking about data. Like you need data so you can make decisions. And if you have no data, you can't make decisions. And if you can't make decisions, you can't make any improvements because you're the same. You're stagnant, right? So I completely agree. You need you need to change something. You'll get data and you'll make changes, and that's just how it works.
Yeah, and then, at some point with enough changes, hopefully you kind of strike the chord of what you're looking for to
Hmm.
some kind of extent. And obviously, if we trace back a little bit, then you mentioned that you had to do posts, you had to do advertisements, specifically, texting, DMing people. As you say, you kind of knew you had to do those things. I mean, you need to get in front of people's eyes or get their attention
Hmm.
somehow, right? But if we're trying to look a little bit more at the specifics, because I think most people who are watching this will know, I mean, I know I have to get customers somehow. And I know that
Hmm.
you could do ads, or I know that I could text people, but I don't know how am I going to convey what I have to offer, right? And
Hmm.
so what I would like to get your take on is how we approach the you could call it scripting process, but the way that you
Hmm.
communicate what you have to offer, but also the belief of what you can charge for what you offer.
Oh yeah, that's a big one. um, so the scripting process, it helped to know who I could serve the best because I was able to call out that avatar, right? With pain points or with the demographic of what they are, whether it's like a guy in his 30s wanting to lose weight, but he works 50 hours a week, speaks to that person a lot more than a lady going through menopause, right? Like, obviously, that message is not for her, right? That was like a big thing when making content, making the ads, figuring out that I'm not talking to everyone. I don't want to talk to everyone. It'll be harder for me to figure out what a lady in her 60s needs help with. I don't know. I don't have any clients in their 60s, you know. So I'm not the guy for you. uh, you'd be better off working with someone else. that it's probably a lady in her 60s that has already gone through the same pains as you have and figured it out. Uh, and then for the pricing, I was very skeptical. I was like, oh, there's no way like anybody would pay that amount. I'm like there's no way that anybody would ever, pay me $3,000 for this. No way. There's no way. Because I was like thinking from a close perspective of mine where I had never I had never even sold or talked about selling anybody a $3,000 program. It's like, wow. Let alone like even a higher price program. I think the highest price program is like $30,000, and it's like I would probably do that service for that money for this specific person that needs this, right? Just thinking about how price and service and the person that you're serving all is connected to each other. Like not every single package is for every single person, and I had never thought about it in that sense where I was like, well, I just need to have one thing that works for everyone. Like that doesn't exist. And I think that's a trap that I think a lot of us fall into. What's something that everyone can afford because this is where I'm at and this is what I know that I would afford easily. Or if I really wanted to, I would pay for this much.
Yeah, I think you're hitting the nail on the head with this one. And obviously that's kind of the starting point. You figure out then, okay, who am I going to try and target? And what is the price that I'm going to try and set? And I
Mm-hmm.
mean, I was, of course, I was fortunate enough that getting you in the system, I didn't need to have you do some free work first. So we could get right to the
Mm-hmm.
fun stuff and have
Mm-hmm.
you get paid, right? But even so, obviously it still takes iterations. Still takes trial and error. It still takes learning, making mistakes.
Yeah.
What would you say throughout those experiences, like from the time that you really started putting a lot of emphasis into trying to make those sales and throughout the process of, I would say, making the majority of your sales, was some of the biggest lessons that you learned?
Mm, I think not getting caught up on the decision and just making a decision and seeing what it does. I think that was the fastest way for me to get better faster. Just decide, execute, analyze was the biggest thing. Like, I mean, sales calls with people. Uh, I think something that changed for me there was where I go on a sales call, and for some reason, I always thought that I'm supposed to like convince them, but you're not really trying to convince anyone. You're trying to figure out if this is for them, and if it's not, like, why do they think that it's not, right? Instead of like forcing them to think like, oh, I know this is good for you, just do it.
Mm. Yeah.
And then listening to the calls over and over again, as much as I would hate it, and I still kind of hate it, but that's the only way I can get better, by listening to the call, listening to myself speak, listening to the cadence, right, of my voice. All of those details I wasn't looking for before. I had never even recorded a call of mine or a session of a sales call, right? Like, so that was interesting for me to learn and get better on. Like, and I had to make the mistakes of saying something maybe I shouldn't have said, or saying something too fast and not giving it enough time in between uh, what I had asked, and they were still thinking about it. But I have to kind of let the silence sit for a minute, because maybe they really are just contemplating something within themselves. I need to give them the opportunity to do that, right?
Yeah, and I mean, you obviously did well. We sit here today, shortly after you managed to hit the 5K mark, which is incredible. And I mean, as your coach, I'm immensely proud. What would you say if you were to pick one, like throughout everything that we've been through? I know there's been a ton of like, oh, this is how it works. Oh, this is how it works. But compared to kind of the worldview that you had before, what would you say is the biggest change that you've gone through or experienced?
Biggest change before the program?
Maybe just from the begin, like either before, from the beginning to where you sit right now.
I'd say that the biggest, I guess, like belief break would be that I can do it. Really, it's just that I can do it, and uh, I already did it.
Yeah.
And from the very first time when someone bought something from me online, it's like I, said before, I I was able to feel it, actually touch it. I was like, oh crap, like it happened,
Mm,
and all I need to do is to do it again. It's like when you lose that first pound, you're like, whatever I did worked, and I just need to keep doing more of it and not stop. And that really just solidifies your actions into having the results that you want, because you think that you need to do all these crazy things. Like, for example, I always like to go back to fitness. A lot of people think that in order for you to lose fat, weight in general, you need to work out 7 days a week, run every day, not eat anything. It's like these extremes that we kind of put ourselves like as a. I feel like people, we're just really good at self sabotage, as what I've been saying. That you put this giant goal and you're like, yeah, I'll never be able to do that. And then you just automatically cut yourself out because you're like, well, yeah, I would never be able to do it. Like, I can't. I could never send 100 DMs a day. That's too many. I could never do 1,000 in a week. That's too many. And like, yeah, you can still do it. And when you do it, you get some results, and you're like, oh crap! Like, I didn't even actually have to do 1,000 in a week.
yeah. Yeah.
So that was like a big uh, breaker, like mind breaker of mine. It's like, yeah, you could do it. You can do a lot of different things. And the more I've been on the online space, I figured, like, wow, so many people are doing crazier things. People are selling rocks.
Yeah.
People are selling rocks.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like a rock is getting sold online. Why can't I sell my coaching service to somebody that needs it? And like, I think it was midway through the program, or maybe it was like the fifth week. I think I put it in the group, or I asked you, or I don't remember exactly how it went, but I was thinking to myself, is there something online that we can't sell? Like, just something, one thing that you cannot sell to anyone in the world. Like, what is it? And I thought about it, and dude, I think you can sell anything you want online. Anything.
I think you're
I
right. I
could.
think you're right.
I don't
Yeah.
think there's something that you can't sell online. I mean, like, yeah, there's like the bad stuff, the illegal stuff, like, and people still find a way. You know, not great, but you can literally do anything you want.
Mm. Yeah. Match the right, target customer with the right pain point and the right solution, and you got a match, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's funny. I think what you said before is absolutely excellent. I think when you talk about people putting pressure on themselves
Mm-hmm.
and expectations, I think that relates so beautifully to people either waiting for perfect conditions to start or
Yes.
setting expectations that they need to have perfect execution or otherwise it won't matter at all. And I think this is something that's especially true both for people trying to lose weight, but just as much for people considering starting a business. Like you think that, oh, if I don't have the next Facebook, if I don't have the next OpenAI, ChatGPT, or the next, this kind of AI company, then I might as well not get started, right? Obviously, I would need the best idea and the best business plan. What
Mm-hmm.
would you say to someone who's considering getting started, maybe has an interest they're considering, but they really have not taken that first step yet?
Uh, you know, I I've been working on my target and how to deliver the message that I want to through my fitness content. Because it's also hard when you first want to lose weight or just feel better physically, right? Uh, Again, I love to relate the fitness and the business, and I think everything kind of relates when you first started to the same principles. It's just just do it, and it doesn't matter if it's a shitty rep or not. It doesn't because you're still gonna learn from it, right? And I think Alex from Ozzy has been posting a lot on that. Like whoever has the most courage is probably going to succeed the most, right? Like courageous enough to look like a fool to embarrass themselves will learn the most the fastest because they don't care what anyone else is thinking about them.
Mm.
And it's kind of scary at first, right? It's a scary day when you go to the gym for the first time ever and you're overweight by 30 pounds and you don't know how to use a single machine. That's scary, but are you gonna let that stop you from ever getting to your goal, right? Or are you gonna find a way to get there? Whether it's you learning by yourself, you getting help from someone, you doing it at home, you'll figure out a way to do the same thing, right? Like I don't, maybe I didn't have to send thousands of DMs. Maybe if I would have just kept posting content I would still get the same results, right? Like there's not just one way to only get results for anything. You can still get healthy by working out 10 minutes every single day. And that 10 minutes turns into 15 into 20. Now you're doubling your fitness, right? Maybe you track calories Monday through Friday, but you miss the weekends. That's still 5 out of the 7 days, right? You don't have to be perfect. You just never have to stop, and it's just the first step, the first rep, the first DM, the first piece of content you post. That's the hardest, and just don't stop.
Yeah, because that was going to be, you so nicely talk about getting started, and you break it down so explicitly as I think you could. But to the person who then says, yeah, but I tried, right? I started and I did it for a week and I got no results. Like, how, it clearly doesn't work. What would you say to someone about not stopping, as you just mentioned, right? Not quitting. How do you not quit?
Well, uh, the best example that I could think of, right? Because I haven't worked with any business trying to get better, but in fitness, I hear that a lot. I already tried it for a week, or I tried this program. Uh, I wasn't able to lose any weight. Uh, I'll ask them, well, again to the data thing, right? What did you do? You know, they're like, I did XYZ and nothing worked for this week. Okay, cool. Um, and why did you stop? Well, I didn't see any results. Okay, what were you expecting after the week, right? They're like, oh, I was expecting to lose 5 pounds, uh, and then I mean, and this is when you want to use like real world information. And if you have other past clients that have done this and testimonials, it'll help them realize that their expectations are probably too high, right? I think what we mentioned before about thinking that you have to do so much, you'll get that result that you want. And they think they're doing so much, so they should be losing 5 pounds, or they should be making this much money now because they're doing this much work. But you don't realize that like what you think is a lot of work is probably not a lot of work yet. But it's just that momentum, the initial momentum that feels so hard. And when you get that ball moving, the ball rolling, like you just can't stop pushing it. Otherwise, it'll get hard to push it again. And I think people just give up a little bit too soon because of the expectations that they have are so high, and they think that they're putting in all of this work when maybe they're not. I think it's an expectation with an action dilemma that goes on when people give up, right? They're like, I do this, I didn't get this. And now I guess I'm not good enough, or my body's not great enough, my mind is not good enough. I suck. So I don't think I should try again.
Mm,
And it's uh, a tough spot to be in, especially by yourself.
yeah, yeah, for sure. Um, yeah, I think it kind of goes back to the all or nothing. Like if
Mm-hmm.
you declare and set a finite finish line and say, if by this 1 week I am not in goal, then it doesn't matter. Then
Mm-hmm.
all the work, all the intentions that I had originally, screw them. Now I don't care. It's not going to happen. You start rationalizing why it's
Mm-hmm.
not going to be possible for you, right?
Yeah. Like I think I said earlier, like we're really good at self sabotage. It's so hard to see it on your own
Yeah.
because you think
It,
you're right.
mm. No, yeah, you're right for sure. And if you were to say like one of the lessons of the many that you've learned throughout this program, which one would you say you were the happiest to have learned?
Biggest lesson that I
Not
was
necessarily the
happiest to learn.
biggest, but just the one that, okay,
Oh,
this I know maybe this is the most life-changing one, or the one you're just the most satisfied or happy with.
okay. The lesson that I like that I learned the most, I guess, might be. Uh, I mean, I think it's connecting more of the relation between achieving goal and doing, and how it relates to everything, like so many things. Uh, because it seemed like to me it was out of reach, where I was like, I'm not there yet, so I'm not good enough yet. You think you need to be this person, and then I think something that helped a lot, that I think through our conversations on our one-on-ones, you kind of helped me, was, what would Ishmael, 10 years from now or 3 months from now, do today if he was where you wanted to be? That frame of thinking when I feel stuck has helped me a lot because it's so weird, but it almost feels like I unlock a new part of my brain where I'm like, well, I was already there. Now I'm just like opening up that door. It's like, hey, if you were Ishmael 10 years from now that did everything he was gonna do, what would you be doing right now, or what would you tell me to do right now? And then like, do this, don't stop doing that. I,
Mm,
I I like that lesson a lot, and I go back to it a lot, wherein I feel stuck.
mm. Yeah, no, I get that for sure because it's one of the things that I use the most when I'm like, do I really want to do this thing? Like it's gonna be so and so much effort, or I know it's gonna take such and such, or I don't really want to. Like
Mm-hmm.
it's almost in light of minimizing regret in the future. It's not only how do I get to where I want to go, but it's how do I make sure I don't go down the wrong path, the one that I'll
Yeah,
regret, right? Yeah,
yeah, it's
that's
very powerful
interesting.
to use, and I try to distill that into my clients now,
Mm,
and a coaching way for them to make decisions based off of whatever they want to achieve when
mm.
they're faced with that challenge, right? And if they can't figure it out themselves, let's figure it out.
Yeah, and I think that's only something you can really go into if and when you care truly about your clients.
Mm-hmm.
Like I think that's probably one of the things that separate good coaches from bad ones or mentors for that matter. It's
Mm-hmm.
how much are you willing to help them stay on track? How much are you willing to sacrifice or be patient with them for them not to quit, right? You don't have to
Mm-hmm.
take responsibility for them doing it or getting the result, but how long are you willing to sit in it with them or say, no, you got another, you got another call in you, you got another hour of work in you, all of those things.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's cool. Um,
Yeah, it is.
I I would say that I value transparency in the work that I do, and I hope that you would agree. So for someone who's listening to this, considering starting a business and probably wants to start a business, I want to make sure that this is also not just seen as kind of promotional. So if you
Mm-hmm.
were to list like 3 or 5 things that would be a sign that someone was not ready for a program like this, or it would be a bad idea for them to be part of something like this, what would they be?
Hey, if I had to give 3 to 5 reasons why not to start a
Yeah,
business.
not necessarily to start a business, but why this program would be a bad fit for them.
Well, I mean, you'd have to be in the wrong mindset that you have nothing to offer. I think you would have to feel like uh, you can't help anything, right? Or and actually not feel, but like I think you would have to sit down and look to see how many things you have that you've never done one little tiny bit to help in some way, some capacity, right? Because I think we all have something that we've done that we're proud of that made us feel somewhat good. So I think if you feel or if you never have done something that has helped someone and really dig in for that, right? Like you probably have to help somebody at some point. So it's very hard to feel like that or look for that and then feel like that. You would probably to never. I mean, I think all of the other ones kind of come down to your self belief. It's like you believe you can't do this. Uh, I think that's the biggest one, to be honest with you. Like why you wouldn't want to start a business. You just believe you can't. You believe you can't help anyone, even for free, right? Because that's the beginning stages. You want to help somebody for free to see if this is even viable to anybody that like not even for free they want this service is crazy, right?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So yeah, I think those are the main ones. Believing in yourself is the biggest one. Uh, and then figuring out that you never helped anyone with anything. It would be kind of hard if you have never helped anyone with anything ever in your life to do something and try to sell something that you've never helped somebody with. Right. But even then, you could still believe that you can help somebody if you just believe in yourself. So I think it just comes down to believing you can or you can't.
Yeah. No, I think you're absolutely right. I think self-belief is one of the strongest factors, not even just business related, but anything related. And
Yeah.
I think you're also hitting the nail on the head saying if you don't think that you could ever, not just right now, but that I could never help someone solve a problem and then get paid for doing that. If you if you put that never ever on it, yeah, I think you're right. Then this is probably not going to be a good fit for you. Kind of
Yeah, because
flipping
you
it
already don't believe
around.
in yourself. Sorry.
No, no, yeah, exactly, right? Because you don't believe in yourself, right? And when it comes down to it, obviously, I'm not here to do the actual work for you, even though I get myself involved in a lot of the actual work. It is you who did all the work in the end, right? And which is why I hope that you're also very proud of it. Would if we kind of flip that around, if someone is or wants to start a business and is considering, again, would this program be something that I could work with or see myself being a part of? What are some of the most positive reasons? Like, what are some of the biggest or the clearest points that this would be a success for them?
Um, Obviously, one is they already helped somebody and got paid for it. That like you already have something somebody wants and they were willing to pay you for it, right? Or even for free. You already helped 10 people for free. that means somebody uh, will probably pay for it because it helped 10 people. Uh, Maybe it's you already doing the work and uh, needing some small direction and where to apply more of the work that you're already doing, right? Because one of the traps that I kept falling into during the program that you helped me analyze, because I can't see what you see or anybody else sees about what I'm doing or what I am, right? So it helps so much if you kind of take the perspective of someone else and you're like, oh, um, yeah, I guess I was kind of doing something like that, and then working on your own and be like, okay, I need to stop doing this and do this more. I think one for me example was you were helping me with my content, right? So I figured there's like three different main avenues that I have to work on every single day. I have to talk to people, DM people, comment some people's posts. I have to post content and then ads, right? And I I wouldn't be able to deliver on my own coaching if I did these three only, right? And like I can't just do all of these three to the best of my ability if I'm already working on the delivering, onboarding, and like talking to people when they need it, right? I wouldn't be available all the time, and that I can't do my best in all of these things. So really narrowing down was something that you helped me with, like, and like I narrow down to being content, and uh, that's where I'm leaning towards all the way now, just being the best content producer that I can be, because I know that will pay dividends, right? I'm getting really good at that. So yeah, being in the program helps with analyzing your actions with somebody else and getting feedback. Like this is what you said, and this is what you are saying now. What's the change in thought patterns here? And which one would you see yourself doing more of or less of? And then none of it is right or wrong.
Fortunately, I could say our work, our real one-on-one work is coming to an end soon. But that does not mean that your work is coming to an end, obviously. I think this is only the beginning of your work, right? And
Yeah.
so what does the future of Supernova Fitness look like?
Well, still helping and changing more lives is one for sure. Uh, like I mentioned, I'm going all in into the content uh, side of my advertising, right? Uh, I like it a lot because it fits with my values and why I decided that I need to do this on my own. I love to help as many people as I can, and I can do that through content. Uh, I can because if I went down the ads right now, I feel like it would be too focused on selling, which it's something obviously that I need for my business, right? But um, I think for my values, I would much rather give out tons of free will from my part. It feels better because that's who the person that I wanted to look for whenever I was struggling with what I help people with now is yeah that uh, so now Supernova Fitness is focused on helping more people through content, being the best coach, uh, and just keep getting people to their goal, breaking down their goals, so that they can feel it within reach, and then eventually feel the results happen for them, and just keep changing more lives the best way that I know how, the best way I know how to serve this world.
Yeah, that's such a valid point. You don't have to aim. You don't even have to aim at all of the world. But also you
Mm-hmm.
can just aim at one thing and do one thing really well. And if you just do that, you'll probably have a bigger impact on more lives than if you try to do 10 different things and you end up just helping not a lot of people.
Mm-hmm.
That's true. What would you say to the viewer who's watching this, who wants to start a business, who hears about you, going from doing personal fitness, but to now going online and making the first 5,000 bucks doing it? Who wants to get started but feels lost, doesn't know how to start? Like, what's the most important action point?
I think the most important action point is do it for free for someone, because if you actually want to help people, this is something that people need help with. And if you're not willing to do it for free either, then I don't think it's worth it for you. If you're actually willing to help somebody lose the weight, right? Obviously, it's hard finding that person that wants to lose weight, and because monetarily people vote with their dollars, right? So also finding the right person that wants to lose the weight is important. But if you're not even willing to do it for free to learn and get good at that craft, it sounds like you're not in it for the right reasons. So I think anybody who's joining the online fitness coaching space should go in with those intentions that I would be willing to do this for free. And I already did this for free. I don't think there's any other way to be the best coach if you're not actually willing to help somebody when they need it
Mm,
because they didn't give you a dollar.
that's very well put. Yeah.
Actually, I want to add to that. Uh, I I there was a passage that I read yesterday from Church at the Bible, and it was this one hit home for me specifically right now in this moment of my time, where it was basically the steward, the manager of the wealthy person, was given a choice within his world. Right, he's like, I think the wealthy person was going to fire him, so he was put in a tough situation where he either serves his master or he serves the people that he works with on his position, right? Because he's already losing his job. So he either finishes serving his master the best way, or he gets ready for what's to come. And for him to get ready for what's to come, he probably needs to end things better with those people that he works with, so that he can probably have an opportunity to work with those people, right?
Mm,
And you, the message is like, you can't serve two masters. You can't serve money and serve the people. It's just not possible. You either serve the people or you serve your money. And the people who serve money are probably smarter than you, but the people who serve the people probably will have the longest return on it. It doesn't even have to be money, right? And it's not even for that. It's just you're actually serving versus you're wanting just the money. That
yeah.
hit home for me yesterday.
Yeah, I hear you on it. I hear you on it. I think that's very, very true.
And that's
Um,
just personal.
yeah, obviously there's going to be personal elements to this.
Yeah.
I also heard Homoji say the one who cares more about the other person getting the result is the one that's going to make the sale, right? And
Mhm.
so this is obviously being very sales specific, but it's just as much about for you, like caring that your clients are going to lose the weight, making sure they do the right things to then get that result. And you caring about that is going to translate into the conversation of will they be more willing to then buy from you because they can sense that passion for seeing them succeed.
Hmm.
Yeah,
Very
that's
passionate
so
about
great.
seeing my clients succeed.
Yeah, yeah, I know, man. And for anyone who's watching this and is considering any kind of weight loss, where is it that people can find your stuff?
You can look me up on Instagram. I go by Ismael the trainer. It's ISMAEL the trainer. and send me a DM. Tell me you came through our podcast here with David, and I'll be happy to talk to you. Uh, ask me anything that you need.
That's awesome. Perfect. Obviously, we're not completely done ish, but we'll leave that for our one-on-one stuff. It's been an absolute pleasure having this talk with you and kind of getting to overview everything that you've gone through as well. Do you have any final words that you wish to share or add on to anything we've been through?
I mean, it's really just just start and then don't stop. Whatever it is that you actually like to do.
Yeah.
That's really it.
Doesn't get more simple than that.
It doesn't get more simple than that. Just start it, do it. You're gonna fail no matter what, and that's fine. Failure is data.
Yeah. I mean, amen. You're absolutely true.